What is the dumbest thing you have pretended to be interested in because you wanted to date someone? Does it count as dumb if I wound up enjoying it? Learned to play Magic the Gathering in middle school because I had a huge crush on one of the guys who played at lunch every day. We hung out a couple times, then he refused to talk to me after the first time I beat him. But I kept playing, still do, and in my late 20s it turned out to be one of the first things my husband and I connected over: golf. She was mad about it. Would have the Golf Channel on in the background on TV. Was a member of a golf club. I bought a new golf bag but used her old clubs. I secretly loathed the game and its finicky peculiarities. I played several rounds and never got any better. She eventually stopped asking me to play with her. We lasted a while but other issues ended the relationship. She loved BTS and K-pop in general and I pretended to like it and we reviewed different songs together. I'm really not into any kind of pop, let alone K-pop, so I lied about everything. However, due to my knowledge of music theory, structure, songwriting etc., I was pretty convincing. I never lie about my interests, but at the time I was so desperate, I had no choice. Lol. One girl I dated exclusively wanted to talk about how shitty her day was getting abused and beat up by special needs children, like she would go on an hour-long rant before I'd just start taking her clothes off to give her the message. Awful kisser, bored the shit out of me. But she let me raw dog that box and screamed like a banshee while convulsing during sex. I dated a girl for a while who was really into feminist activism. For the record, I don't think that is dumb, but I can't think of anything else that would qualify. She changed a lot of my views on feminism at the time. For one, she definitely did not hate men. Sadly, it didn't work out because I, at the time, was ridiculously bad with human relationships. Art. I met a girl in community college some 20 years ago and I decided to take all the same classes as her that I was terrible in. However, she revealed she was a lesbian, so I wasted a whole year pursuing her. We ended up being really good friends until a few years ago when she turned out to be a Trump supporter. I wonder how that turned out. Mormonism. I'm an atheist but I pretended that I might be savable because a hot Mormon girl told a friend that she thought I was cute. So I went to a Mormon service, realized that there was no way that I could pull the pretend conversion off, and left during a lull in the activities. I can't even remember if I ever talked with her again. Religion. I actually made a sincere effort. I wanted to find good things about this belief system, but in the end, I just couldn't do it. The endless barrage of bad ideas just wore me out. But luckily, their bigoted behavior started to get to her too, and she quit the religion of her own accord, so we're both still together. I said I could ride the horse, which I clearly couldn't. She booked a beach ride and after the initial slow walk to the beach she took off on her horse and mine decided that it would be cool to follow them at full speed. I remember praying to any god that would listen to help stop this creature, white-knuckled it until the end. Not me but my wife. When we first started hanging out she would go to the bar with my friends and I after work and have a couple drinks with us. After we had been dating for a couple months she told me she doesn't like to drink and only wanted to spend time with me, which explains why she threw up the one time we did a shot. Not me but my wife. Had me believe she loved all the same music I did, which was huge for me because music is such a huge part of my life and identity. Turns out she hates my music, as I hers, and was just trying to be nice and get me to like her. Been married 9 years now, so not something to throw it away over. It wasn't dumb, but I pretended my car stereo to all the channels I knew she liked, so she thought we were kindred spirits. I knew because I met her in a bar, and we talked a while before the first time she was in my car. That was 1991, and we are still happily together. Lots of country music and 70s channels. Astrophysics. Was always interested in space, but my crush vocalizing his love for astrophysics made me dive into the subject. I recall getting a full score in physics, in high school. 2 years later, a few schoolmates outed me to him, and he expressed his disinterest. Nearly failed physics the next year. It was over 30 years ago, but I dated an alcoholic Christian for 6 months. It involved going with her to the local Catholic church once a week. I sang the songs. I read the prayers. I listened to the sermon. All the while thinking, this really is a total load of horse shit. Peace be with you. Jazz. We ran HS and she played in the jazz band. She also really loved listening to jazz. I had to pretend to be interested and really tried to like her likes. But I just couldn't. I do not like jazz. Still, there I was at her jazz concerts. Dating a girl who played trumpet at its perks though. Smoking cigarettes. 14-year-old me was sure the cute drummer neighbor boy would love me if I smoked. Nope. He thought I was weird and then I moved away with a shiny new addiction. Smoked for 18 years after that. I've been clean 8 years and can't believe I was such an idiot for so much of my life. Negronis. I hate those bitter, disgusting drinks. But I'm half Italian and I was trying to impress a bartender, so I offered to take her out to a local bar that had a Negroni night. Anyway, I came clean almost immediately as we arrived and we've been happily dating for over a year and a half now. Attended church. She wasn't overly religious, but regularly did solo vocals. It was a happy clappy musical sort of church. Baptist, I think. Worse still, it got out that I could play piano pretty well, so I got roped into coming the next week too to play in their band. She didn't go that week, gonna be honest. In all of my relationships, I've never actually pretended to like anything. I may have gotten into smoking weed because of one of them, but that's about the closest thing. I'd rather have actual mutual interests and not fake it just to get with someone. But that's just me. I once tried to score a date with a art history major and tried to pretend I had an amazing passion for paintings. We went to a martini bar and she started asking me about what I liked. I said Picasso and got made lol. She actually got a kick out of the effort and we hung out a few times. Reality television. Like Big Boss, it's called Big Brother in US, I guess. I really hate reality television. It's vulgar, toxic, many times scripted. Only reality show I like to watch is MasterChef Australia. Even though I don't cook much, I love watching them make the beautiful dishes. 31 years ago, girlfriend said she was bisexual. I decided to try dudes. Girlfriend is long gone and 5 states away now. Still dating men. Bisexuality isn't dumb, but my girlfriend likes girls is not a reason to become really close friends with a short goth boy from English class. I lied and said I had experience in journalism because I didn't think we'd have anything except a brief encounter when I'd actually only taken one class in college. Our first date, he took me with to report on a local clash between police and citizens and I got tear gassed and robbed. In 6th grade I took violin classes because there were 2 really cute twin blonde girls in the class. I wasn't good at it and the music teacher condescendingly told me I have a weak pinky finger in a parent-teacher conference that made me self-conscious of it the rest of my life. I started going skating every Saturday morning because the guy I liked played hockey and I knew a lot of the hockey players went to the public skate on Saturdays. I dragged my friend and my sister along with me too. I think I saw him there maybe 5 times out of like 20. Oof, this is going to hurt. Alex Jones. Well, this was many years ago, back when InfoWars was quite new. My sweet, gullible crush had fallen into the conspiracy trap. We talked about that stuff for hours. He got over it in time, but man, I cringe so hard when I remember. I've never pretended to like anything, but my husband pretended to like Doctor Who when we first met, and I believed he loved the show like I did for like 4 years. We didn't get together until after another 3 years, but it still stings that he pretended to like it. I was raised atheist. Not really like vocal atheists, but no religion. I went to a church service because a girl I liked invited me. The church made me really uncomfortable and my parents made fun of me for going. They were right, religion makes people weird. Theater. She considered herself a great actress, while not having learned anything about it. I tried to learn about theater to impress her. I got bored of it quickly and realized the only theater that girl had were the drama and the vanity. So I promptly left, doing a temp job for 3 months calling a list of numbers at random for 3 hours a week, and found out later she was just a recruiter for this reduced fare phone service that no one wanted. The boss would often reprimand us for not getting much customers. Classical music. Always been more of a hippie rocker type guy, but she was really into classical music, so I taught myself piano to try to get into it. It didn't work, but now I know Mozart's Piano Sonata in C major by heart though. Teen years are strange, father. I became a cowboy. And by that all I did was dress in western wear and pretend to know the trade. I was really interested in this girl who lives and breathes horses for a living. I had pretty much pulled it off, but I gave up. It was too much work. I wouldn't say it's the dumbest thing, but I shifted my entire music genre for a girl. Turns out I liked her music way better than the country music I listened to. I ended up liking it so much that I haven't listened to country music since then. Was dating my old high school sweetheart and she liked some musical artist that was absolutely horrible. She listened to him the entire time we were together on a date. I put up with it because I knew I would get laid at the end of the night. The supernatural. Ghost hunting with all the equipment and all of that. It was fun, in an urban exploring way, but sitting there agreeing that the speck of dust that was lit by the camera flash was an orb got to be tiresome real quick, and which is actually haha. I was in the 4th grade and The Craft came out. My girlfriend and her friends acted as they had the same powers and would cast spells in the library at lunch and recess. I'm pretty sure they casted a spell on me. I watched Tom and Jerry the movie because the girl I sat next to in art class liked it and I told her I saw it as a kid. She never told me to watch it and I never told her I watched it. It only really served as penance for a line to her. Was dating a runner who was really into distance running. I've never ever felt compelled to run, but talking about it with them all the time convinced me to try it. I'm running my first half marathon in less than 2 months. Haha, horses. I think keeping horses is stupid and wasteful on a lot of levels, especially for a spoiled city girl, but she was so into it, I gave it a go. Ended up almost getting killed by one of her challenging rescue problem horses. She was a Jehovah's Witness. I grew up atheist, but I was in high school so ended up going to Kingdom Halls. When it became obvious these people were never going to accept me, I stopped going and she broke up with me. He was into this weird obscure music. I gave it a genuine chance. But I drew the line at the song that was literally just children screaming and a man talking about doing unspeakable things to them to a bass line. Dave Matthews Band. Have you ever sat in the 4th row of a concert for a band that you actively hate? Where you can feel the waves of terrible, annoying music at your face? For fucking house. And multiple shows.